Melrose Place, but it may take a long time. On the other hand, if you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. And I think that people sitting right next door in Iran, young people, and many others will say, the time of such regimes, of such despots, is gone. There is a new age, something new is happening.
And that is speculation on your part, or you have some evidence to that effect?
You know, I was asked the same question in 1986. I had written a book in which I had said that the way to deal with terrorist regimes, well, with terror, was to deal with the terrorist regimes. And the way to deal with the terrorist regimes, among other things, was to apply military force against them.
The way we did in Afghanistan.
The way, for example, I want to answer your question.
Well, I guess I'm running out of time, so I quickly was trying to get there. We've done, I think, what you proposed in Afghanistan, yet I haven't seen that sort of neighborhood effect.
Well, I think there's been an enormous effect. The effect was, we were told that there would be a contrary effect. First of all, people said that there would be tens of thousands of people streaming into Afghanistan, zealots who would be outraged by America's action, and this would produce a counter-reaction in the Arab world.
But I think you're not saying that when you take an action like we did in Afghanistan, we're going to see all the other countries just fold.
No, what we saw is something else. First of all, we saw everybody streaming out of Afghanistan. The second thing we saw is all the Arab countries and many Muslim countries trying to side with America, trying to be okay with America. The application of power is the most important thing in winning the war on terrorism. If I had to say, what are the three principles of winning the war on terror? It's like, what are the three principles of real estate, the three L's, location, location, location? The three principles of winning the war on terror are the three W's, winning, winning, and winning. The more victories you amass, the easier the next victory becomes. The first victory in Afghanistan makes the second victory in Iraq that much easier. The second victory in Iraq will make the third victory that much easier too, but it may change the nature of achieving that victory. It may be possible to have implosions taking place. I don't guarantee it, Mr. Attorney, but I think it makes it more likely, and therefore I think the choice.
Bibi Netanyahu has been spreading violence in the Middle East region for over 20 years. That video that you just watched is, it was in the late 90s, I think about 1998. He convinces the US government and the Central Intelligence Agencies to go along with Israel's plans. The US is complicit in all Israel actions, and there are other Western societies like the UK, Germany, that are complicit with providing Israel military equipment, and I'm sure there are many others. Israel has started many wars: the war in Iran, Lebanon, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and the genocide in Palestine. I want to show you another video. Let's see if I can pull it up.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program. In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons in public, likely emboldening nuclear weapons advocates within Iran's decision-making apparatus. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is at its highest levels and is unprecedented for a state without nuclear weapons.
So what you just watched was a video with Senator Gabbard, Senator Tulsi Gabbard, mentioning sometime in March of this year that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon, but they were concerned with the fact that their uranium levels were high enough to produce a nuclear weapon. And this is the director of national intelligence, which later on we have the president of the United States that later said that this woman doesn't know what she's talking about, but she's in charge of national intelligence for the U.S. So he basically discredited her research and her findings. But I believe that the U.S. and Israel coerced together to try to bum rush Iran when they saw the opportunity. They underestimated Iran and got crushed, in my opinion. These are my thoughts. Never in my life did I think to see what's happening in Palestine, where they are starving people and martyring people when they are seeking humanitarian aid. Attacking peaceful civilians whenever they want to get on ships and try to deliver humanitarian aid to these people. It's a very sad situation. I know most people don't try to think or care about other people and what other people may be going through in this world. But I'd rather be amongst the people that show humanity towards others. When the US and Iran was negotiating, they chose to ambush civil servants, scientists. I was sitting back when this happened, and I was like, well, can we classify or define this as an act of terrorism of what they did, attacking Iran? If these scientists taught at universities or worked for corporations, in my mind, I was thinking, and these military leaders, when this was happening, I was thinking, don't you think that they've already taught thousands of hundred thousands of students about their program, uranium program, enrichment program? I was just trying to understand it. Because I believe that these students would have mastered these skills. So I just was just lost. What I don't understand is why Israel is concerned about having, what I'm trying to understand is why Israel was concerned about Iran having a nuclear weapon when they have one. But I saw a few days ago that there was another incident when there was another country attacking Pakistan. I need to go research a little bit more, but I believe this is true. Pakistan has a nuclear weapon. So there was a time when there was a country that was attacking Pakistan. I can't remember the name of the country at the moment. And of course, well, no, of course, Israel was helping providing military aid to this particular country that had this war with Pakistan, and they knew that they could not, I guess, go to war with Pakistan at the time. So they decided not to progress with going, to aid the other country with military weapons. This is about power and control. The U.S. and Israel want to control the Middle East region. They're setting up military bases. Well, the U.S. already set up many military bases there. You can see how with Israel attacking Lebanon, they recently attacked Iran, attacking Yemen. You can see what they tried to do. The U.S. President, Donald Trump, is an arms salesman. President Trump just went to the UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia selling military weapons. Arms salesman, remember that. The U.S. president is an arms dealer. He's basically selling military weapons, and this is what, not only for them to have some type of dominance or power or control as far as wealth, but also power, control with weapons. When it comes to war. What I was thinking is that these Arab countries need to stop being so political and trying to be right and do things just. Sometimes you need to be like President Putin. I admire him because he don't play. And I have respect for him, respect for men like him. Because what these Arab countries need to know is that the U.S. knows Israel's plans and intentions. The other thing is, we can tell when the U.S. government or politics normally speak, and their tone and their messages signals that there are prejudices towards the Arab countries, not just countries, and or the Muslim community. And when we talk about the U.S. being, the U.S. president being an arms dealer and so forth, a few weeks ago, there was a G7 summit, and you had those nations talk about increasing their military budget. And so that means that they will, buy more weapons, because now it's getting everybody riled up as if there's going to be a World War III. I am a U.S. citizen. I'm not proud to say that at times. Although I do have some privilege of being a U.S. citizen when I travel to other countries to where I benefit from the currency exchange. I'm not allowed, well, say I'm not allowed. It's been moving too fast. I'm not allowed. Like, I listen anyways. Anyways, I'm allowed to criticize my government. Maybe who knows? Because, people try to cancel you, most of the times, or, they try to say that you have rights to say what you want as an American. And sometimes that isn't the case. But I'm allowed to criticize my government. I'm not being anti-Semitic. I'm just reiterating what the world is witnessing. When these thugs seized the opportunity to attack Iran, and when Iran hit back, they retreated. Full of rage and anger because they were surprised that Iranian missiles were traveling 1,300 kilometers. At one point, I thought maybe this was an act of God, because I started thinking about how when we view the story about Pharaoh and the people who were doing ungodly just things, and God sent another group of people to take over, and this would happen on several occasions. That was just in my thought that maybe we can see this evil of what Israel is doing to these people. You strip them of electricity, food, water, shelter. The world was in excitement when Israel homes and communities were being bombed by Iran. And it's not to say that anybody, I don't wish harm on anybody or wanting to be in a war unwanted, unsolicited. But I think it is just when we see what Israel is doing. These war criminals were in panic mode when Iran defended themselves. The people of Iran defended themselves. And I was relaxed in my chairs. Now I forgot I was speaking for a moment. I just relaxed. For decades, American citizens were thought to believe Iran was an enemy. That's not true. The people of Iran are peaceful people, like many Muslim countries. What I see is Israel trying to be the bully in the Middle East, wanting other countries to fear them, mostly Arab countries. And if you can't beat them, join them. And I believe, or I'm going to assume, this is why they want more countries to join the Abraham Accords. They say they want peace in the region. The 12-day war with Iran was costing Israel approximately $800 million per day, not including the damages to their infrastructure. At one point, I was thinking, when I was watching everything, I was like, man, I said, they might as well throw that defense missile system in the trash. Filled with anger afterwards, they released a relentless attack on Palestinians. Israel started attacking Syria. They continued assault on Yemen. And I also believe that they sent missiles towards Lebanon. I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, how does this affect me? And the thing that goes through my head is that I need to be pragmatic and productive in my days to try to become a citizen elsewhere, diversifying my funds and going where I'm treated best, as Andrew Henderson would say, the Nomad Capitalist, beautiful channel. The U.S. gives Israel over $3 billion per year. This Iran war, the genocide committed in Palestine, and the war in Ukraine, it's a big bill. The U.S. citizens are going to foot this bill indirectly. This affects the livelihood of supporting our family, providing food, shelter, clothing, and government assistance will help. And we have BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. I believe they started that, and more countries to try to de-dollarize the U.S. currency, because the world reserve traded currency, which means that most countries trade with the U.S. dollar. I'm a world traveler. I like traveling. I notice when I travel, people are always looking to scam me or to get money out of me. I ain't gonna say scam because, well, I guess I could say that. I remember twice. This is why when I go out, side story, why when I go out, I guess it's best to, it's good to have a credit card because there's insurance on the credit cards. But at the same time, if you could find a way to where you're not handing over your credit card, this is also good, because I notice some of these people will be looking to use it. But the other thing that I do when I travel is to take about $4,000 in cash. A side tip. Especially taxi drivers. Taxi drivers, they always try to get over. But I got something for y'all, especially, don't worry, I got something for you. Got something for the taxi drivers. I remember when I went to Istanbul, Turkey, a couple of years ago. I was with one of my ex-girlfriends. We went to the Kahai Palazzo. It's a beautiful venue in Turkey. And we went there. I didn't know it was going to be like a drag queen thing. You know, Turkey is a relaxed Muslim country compared to many others. But it was a nice little event. But during the event, I had something happen to me to where the host of the show, I think the guy, one of the main performers, what this guy's name is? I think his name is, let me see, is it Shah Khan? Let's see. Is it Shah Khan? No, let's see. Turkish singer. Sorry, guys, I just want to. I don't know why I wait till now. Something Khan. No, it's not Zoe Khan. I guess it's a bunch of Khans. Imran Khan? It's not. Hmm. Imran Khan. Anyways, I can't find it. I should have looked this up before. I'm just ad-libbing at the moment, as I do in most of my videos, trying to be a little authentic and be relatable. We were in Turkey, and we went to the Kahai Plaza because she wanted to see this great Turkish singer. I forgot the guy name because he was really good. Something Khan, I believe. And his sister, Sybil, I think it's a Sybil Khan, Sybil, and another guy, I forgot. But anyways, so we're at this event, and the host, who happens to be a drag queen, not that I got anything against that, so I get approached, like this event is so huge, a venue is so huge, very beautiful, and the individual comes up to me and says, "Are you rich?" And I said, "No, what is that? Where are you from?" First it says, I'm sitting down at the table. So it says, "Where are you from?" And I know, deep voice, dressed up like a woman in a wedding dress, and says, "Where are you from?" And I say, well, the guy before me asked two people. So me and this other guy first asked this other guy. The other guy says, she asked the other guy and says, "Where are you from?" He says, "I'm from Dubai. My name is so-and-so." So I said, "Okay." So, I'm just thinking. So, and it's funny because I believe I just had left Dubai. So then the host comes up to me and says, "Excuse me, where are you from?" And I says, "I'm from US." And it got silent. It got silent. And when it got silent, I was like, oh, because at one minute, there were people just coming up to me. Now, I don't know if I was the only chocolate guy there, but people were just coming up to me trying to figure out where I'm from, what thing, and I wouldn't tell them. I keep telling them that I am from Egypt, right? I always tell people I'm from Cairo, Egypt. And when I decided to be honest, once, got on the microphone, I was like, dang, I should have told them I was from the US. And a little while after that, like, now it's time to go. And I remember when it's time for me to pay the bill, the guy tried to charge me 3 times what I was supposed to pay. So the bill was supposed to be $600 US. And he tried to get me to pay like $1,800. And I was like, what the freak, And I could understand a little bit of what he was saying, but I knew that he was trying to get over on me. And I thought about this, and I was just like, okay, well, let me just go on my phone, because he was making it seem like his little payment thing for the card wasn't working, right? And it didn't accept my card. So eventually I took the receipt because he gave me the receipt. So I was like, okay, it took. So he was still asking me for more money. And I'm like, what the heck? So eventually I made sure it was taken out of my bank account. And then I was like, okay, it's here. It's like I showed him, I was like, hey, it's taken out. Because he could speak English, because the guy was basically talking to me during the dinner, the whole thing. Because my girlfriend was Turkish, and we were there with her gay guy friend or whatever. And I was like, I don't know. So all of a sudden, I started getting treated differently. So eventually, I showed him that, like, my bank account showed him, hey, it's already paid. I don't know what you want. So then he's like, okay, just fine. Trying to rip me off. And then after he did that, I pull out a good stack of cash to give him the smallest tip I could, just for him doing that. But I was like, this man been acting nice and kind to me all night. And then as soon as I said I was a U.S. citizen, he tried to rip me off. And when we talk about de-dollarization, I remember when I was in Italy, I was in Rome, and this guy approached me trying to sell me something. And the guy, he comes up to me and tells me, I gave him a donation. I gave him $10 in US dollars. And he looked at it and crimpled it up, and he's like, you don't have no euros? What's this? And I just laughed. I was like, you give my dang money back if you acting like that, So I was just like, whatever. And I was like, man, I was just like, people just try to get over on you. But, even with this war and everything that's going on, I started to think that this would affect traveling for U.S. citizens when they go abroad, because people are going to stereotype us and look at us and try to, I wouldn't necessarily say harm, because I put my faith in God and I try to stay dangerous, right? So I try to keep up with my fitness. I try to train and box. I am self-aware and always paying attention to my surroundings. And I'm not that friendly when I'm out. Because people will try to take advantage and prey on people who they think that they could attack and get away with it. The first step or priority in any relationship with another individual is building trust. You have to build trust. And I see what the U.S. continues to do to people here in the U.S., like what they've done to Black Americans here. And for anyone that gets in their feelings about me saying Black Americans, you will never understand what it's like to be a Black person in America. You don't understand how the disparities are when it comes to job employment, or minorities possibly too. So it's not just Black, maybe minorities. I had a woman told me recently that she hadn't had a job in a year because she has 2 master's degrees, and she had the phone interviews and everything. And then all of a sudden, when it came time for the interviews and they see her wearing a hijab, then it's like, oh, they're not interested in moving her application along. So for Blacks and minorities, it's difficult. The wage gap, the disparities among buying homes, building wealth, access to loans, grants, to build wealth, to have your own business. How can I trust you when I see what you do to other people? Same as Israel, of how are we supposed to trust what Israel is saying, just like they claimed on October 7th. And I tried to understand and try to, think like, okay, what happened October 7th when they were saying that babies were beheaded and all this stuff? And I haven't seen any evidence of that. And I tried to sympathize with them when we talk about children. But look what these evil people are doing. Well, I won't say Israel as a people, let's say part of their government and the military are doing to people in Palestine. All right, let me show you another video. That is a little kid. That's a video of a little boy, hungry, scraping a dead, rotten meat out of a dumpster. If this doesn't tear you up inside, there's something wrong. Like I mentioned to someone the other day, this was this supervisor. And was talking about giving someone a job opportunity, and the person replied, "Oh, I've dealt with this before. You know, this happened, so and so." And I said, "Just remember, that could have been you." So when you see that little boy scraping that dead, rotten meat, that could have been your child, your family member. Um, this is, I want this channel to be about communication and relationships. But just like I said, I want to talk about things that happen in other countries and some of the stuff that people deal with in their countries as far as dating, or we could talk about the government, whatever. I don't care. But of course, I want to mainly talk about relationships. But I also notice is that some people would ask me, and I think this is more important sometimes, or this is important to where we need to talk about the things that are happening around the world, because it may possibly indirectly affect you, just like us U.S. citizens being indirectly involved with a war, because we'll have to pay this in taxes. And sometimes I also think that a reason also for keeping men and women in the U.S. divided and going against one another is so that the women, more women, instead of being housewives or taking care of your family, they would rather be you working 40 hours or 60 or 80 hours a week being a taxpayer. So it does affect you in some way. You're not thinking about it. But I get this question asked sometimes about, sometimes when I want to discuss things about relationship, people ask me, "Elliot, did you see, or what do you think about, the thing with Israel or these wars, or you think we're going to have a World War III?" And I do watch this stuff and think of, think about what's happening, but I continue to pray and just continue to work hard in the things that I want in life. And in doing so, I try to give as much as possible to those affected. And one thing I'm surprised is that we don't hear often about what's going on in Sudan, because I believe the war between Rwanda and I forgot the other African country, they had a ceasefire. What country was that? Maybe South Africa. I don't know. Is it? I can't remember the country. But when I see this, I just try to donate as much as possible. And even when we donate to charity, you can't think that, oh, it's my last and I don't have anything. You just have to give. God will always eventually give you more regardless. You may not get it right when you want it, but it will eventually come, and Allah will take care of you. So you just have to understand that. But it would be nice if more people have this mindset is to learn to give often, even when you don't have to give. Two organizations that I've been trying to, or not trying, that I do give more to is UNRWA, is that United Nations Relief World Agency, I believe, and the World Food Program. So I would hope that more people will get involved in donating more to these nonprofit organizations. I wasn't sure about this, making this video either. A couple of times I got sick and sometimes I was tired. But the other thing is, when I do my YouTube videos, I am wanting to always deliver something of good, valuable lessons or wisdom. I don't really want to give people advice because people already know what they want to do. It's just self-talk when they're just talking to us and wanting our opinion on something. But hopefully I leave some wisdom or some knowledge. But I'm sometimes also afraid that I won't do well in my videos. But I hope that I deliver a good message. And surprisingly, some of the videos I thought was horrible. I was like, I don't know how that video got all them likes because I don't think I did good. But anyways, I just fear not doing good sometimes. Anyways, this has been long. I think I got a little bit of the message where I wanted to talk about. I have some interesting relationship videos coming up. I've already worked on the editing. I've got what I wanted to say. It could be really nice, inshallah. I want to thank you all who are watching, supporting me, supporting my channel, the 10,000 subscribers. I thank you all wholeheartedly. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share my content if you like it. I also would like you all to donate wherever you have $5, $10 towards Palestine. There's still Muslim brothers and sisters in Sudan that need our help, Afghanistan. So I am going to end with that. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullah. Masalama.